Hi all, right back with more of the other side of the hill solo. This will be my part 31. So I'm up to date now with the videos. I've watched them back. I just released part 30 earlier today. A couple of days went by since I had a little shot, but should get a part or two done this evening. Going to dive straight in though. There's a few things to mention without going deeply into them, but I don't think it should take so long. Yeah, a couple of things to talk about. Right, so looking back, part 26 here, Carlos. Carlos makes a little mistake himself here because I definitely talked about it. It definitely was a winter, and in fact, I definitely even mentioned that this went down to 1 and they would get an extra dice. However, it was the winter. But anyway, he notices that afterwards that it was the winter and they shouldn't have got an extra die. And it was reminding me though that the special effect, if you're sitting with a 2, remember that's at 3, right, Grant? If you're sitting at the 2 and you get a special effect before the combat roll that knocks you down to 1 and it's not the winter, then they would get an extra dice. So that's like I say what he commented on, and then I had to remind him it was the winter. So that was good. Which he replied, he said, so it is. I just realised, see, you're starting to control the game better than me. Not too sure about that one. The end of this comment, though, I was a little baffled by. He says, I got a draw in the combat, and I reduced 1 army, which is the same result you would get if you had lost the combat by 1 hit. Now, I think I worked that out the same. He's then added, and I don't know if this is also him not thinking it through properly, but I want to make sure of this. He says that extra hit would have got Reinhardt questioned though. I know it's if it's 1 hit or if it's just 1 reduction, everything's good. I'm pretty sure. If it's more than 1 reduction or 1 retreat, there's questioning. And then if there's more than 2 reductions or 2 retreats, I think it is, there's extra questioning. So I'm not quite sure there. The thing is, I'm not following it properly, but I think comments would have been made because I think I've had one where we had a reduction. There was one that was a draw and there was one that was a defeat, and they both ended up being the same result because the defeat was only by 1 hit. And I think it turns out the same. I think I would have been told if I was getting that wrong. So whether he's talking about something else here or not. Anyway, let's push on. Right, this is regarding, again, he's got these time stamped 43-minute, 30-second mark. This was regarding the generals and and which one that you would pick for the misfortune. He says, you're right, all the generals on your player board are in play, available, activated, and in command. So, I mean, I went with that. It felt like it was right. Just that, I don't know, just in play. These guys have been activated, But anyway, I took it that way, and he's confirmed that. So, I don't think he feels that that's a problem, and it's probably just a Grant thing. But then I did take it that way. I didn't sort of say, well, I don't think they should be in play because they've been activated. I just wondered about it, I suppose. He says, I'll get you 1 hit about combat cards. The higher the number in the card, the worse it is. Yeah, and I remember talking about one of the cards we got, and it was card number 19. So I think there's only 20 combat cards. So that gives you an idea. He says, thus card 1 is the most lenient, and card 20 is the absolute worst. So yeah, there must be just 20 of them. And then, I don't know if this is a tongue-in-cheek comment afterwards. This was in part 26 when we had just had our first... We were in the winter and we just had our first Soviet offensive. And that's why I realised that, wow, that was really unlucky to get it there because all 4 Soviet offensives had the winter snowflake on it, which is a reduction in the winter. It's not a reduction in the spring or the summer or the fall, it's just a reduction in the winter. So like I said, I'm not sure if there's a tongue-in-cheek comment. He says, you've probably seen the worst of the year now. All those Russian winter special effects will not be triggered for the rest of 1942. Well, that's nice, Carlos, but the winter's done now. So I be happy with him coming on. That's why I think it's been a bit funny there. Because I'd be happy for them to come on. I think that's what he's meaning. But anyway, so that was from part 26. Right, 27. Some comments, Martin. Yeah, we're talking about this little issue between the Middle East and Egypt and how you deal with and I understand it all, and I think Carlos made some comment about it, because of the way it is, it's in the middle of the map and you're wanting to fight from either side. It's difficult to have the numbers set, in the order and whatever. But anyway, Martin says, you're correct, it's a strange quirk in which you have to ignore logic for a while. It's true that you control all sectors in the Middle East, and your forces can be considered being in any of them. But it's obviously a little crazy that the attack will be from Jerusalem to El Alamein. So he's saying from there to there. And then I commented in reply to that, saying that, it feels weird though. My take would have been the attack is from Damascus to El Alamein. But then he chimed back where I was being kind and counted the distance from Jerusalem, which is probably... Yeah, because I said I don't know the geography or even the history of how these things went down and whatever. Actually, Carlos makes a comment later on. Don't think Germans took the Middle East, Iraq, Iran, Turkey, or Spain. I mean, I knew Spain. I didn't think Turkey. I wasn't sure about these, but I mean, if these are that side of Turkey, then... Anyway... Martin says it's about 1,000 kilometres from Jerusalem to El Alamein, and it's 1,300 from Damascus to El Alamein. So whether they should have been maybe the other way about, or no, I don't know. But yeah, we get the gist of that. That's fine. It's just a little awkward to how they've had to put it that way, but I understand that. Okay, moving on. Right, so from part 28. So this is what triggered me reading this card again. It was Martin's comment here. The objective of Sonnenblume / Ada is to capture an adjacent allied sector. It wouldn't be much of an objective otherwise, would it? Now, at first I was going to reply back and say, yeah, but you know what I'm like with common sense. That's common sense, that's what you have to do, but common sense is not what it says on the card. It's what's written on the card that matters more to me. And then I read it again, and then the penny dropped, right? When we are, let's take, for example, one of the ones that we've done already, that'll do. Yeah. When we done the conquest of Iran and Iraq, and what I'm talking about is this whole thing I was saying, if we didn't succeed and the Allies were still here and we were here, we are adjacent still, so we still succeed. And it felt kind of strange and sort of stupid, and I mean, it is. But I mean, all I need to do is, I'm just not thinking about it properly. So when we done the Iraq-Iran one, the objective was to take Baghdad, control Baghdad, right? So it's nice and simple there. I just know I need to take Baghdad, which is fine. But when it comes to this one, the Sonnenblume Ada one, which is an offensive in Libya or Egypt, so it's not taking a specific sector, like a specific city. And what it says is, any Allied control sector adjacent to an Axis controlled disk. And Grant just has a dumb moment and looks at that and reads it, that as long as we've got a control disk adjacent, like if that was like that, to that, we succeed. That's silly. It really is kind of silly, Grant, isn't it? But when you read the card, this is the objective. It's got a little tick there. I mean, if that had said El Alamein on it, we would have had to take El Alamein to be able to succeed. And basically, what that's saying is, take any Allied controlled sector adjacent to an Axis-controlled disk. So we have to take one of them. And in actual fact, if we come back next year and play this card again, if I hadn't sort of realised my foolishness here, I would have been thinking that, I'll attack Cairo, but if I don't actually succeed, I've still completed this objective, because I'm still adjacent to an Axis-controlled disk. Well, that would have been wrong as well. you need to take it. That the tech needs to. You've got to take that sector. So we would have to take Cairo at least, whether we advance the second one or not, to be able to complete this. And I realised that when I looked at the card again, I thought, that's just, you've just been stupid there, Grant. So thanks for that, Martin. Thanks for straightening me out there. And while we're on that, actually, you know how I didn't do the second advance into Cairo because I felt like it was better staying back in El Alamein? I still feel like that might have been right. Nobody's made a comment, but then that's a strategy in the game, so some people don't like to comment about that because they don't want to. Yeah, I suppose that you don't want to be told, oh, you could do this, you could do that. You just, certain things. If you're making mistakes, then it's not a mistake. However, once we get to Suez, right, we then go to Tripoli. It loops round again into Tripoli, isn't it? So if I had advanced into there, and let's just say I assume this would work. We played this again next year and we're sitting in Cairo. Let's just say we're like that. And we play this again and we attack. We take Suez, which then takes the whole area. However, because we've moved into... No, it's not moved into river. Because the next sector that's adjacent to this is plains, we could advance the second sector and take Tripoli, knocking that back to El Agheila. So there might have been some argument to say you should advance that second one into Cairo. I don't know. Right now next year, you know what, we've got loads of other stuff to worry about rather than trying to be on an offensive down here. But, well, I've started this, so I might as well try and keep it going. So if we play this again next year, we could advance into Suez, assuming the combat goes right. Then we played it again in 1944. We're only going to be able to get into Tripoli, aren't we? And then into 45, we would then be able to take Tobruk. Whereas if we were in Cairo right now, 43, we would be able to go boom, boom into Tripoli. 44, we would be able to take Tobruk. Yeah, so there you go. We're not going to be able to take Tobruk until 45, if all goes well. Whereas if we had advanced into Cairo, I think we could have took Tobruk by 44. So, yeah. Anyway, I've done that. I still probably feel like I'd rather be sitting in this rough than in this plains getting attacked for the rest of the year. So, yeah. But I suppose if I make the move again, we're either going to be in river or plains, aren't we? Okay, so that card goes away. Right, moving on, come on. I almost missed that one. This was from 28 as well. Carlos timestamps at the 1 hour 2 minute 48 second mark. Who are you and what have you done with Grant? Yeah, I kind of expected that. That's when Rommel decided to take a little break from being the AG head in Egypt. And decided to take a little break from that duty and just thought he'd pop in from time to time and do a bit of combat. I know. It was terrible. It was shocking behaviour, that. So, I think this is the last comment from 29. Don't think I've heard anything from Part 30 yet, but it was only just released not that long ago. Carlos says that this was a really exciting turn. Looking forward to the summer. Well, we have started the summer, haven't we? Part 30 has a bit of the summer. Yeah, but we've not really done it. We've just done the administrative stuff, haven't we? We're sitting in the Axis offensive, about to try and go after some Soviet territory. So we'll see. It does also say here, as to Manstein's, and I agree with this, and not, I did put a smiley face at the end of it, because obviously agreeing with this makes it more beneficial for me. But I do agree with it, and I did sort of wonder on it. He says, as to Manstein's ability, which is the ability that the controlling player may change the result of any one die in the Axis or allied combat roll for the result of his choice. And I felt like, yeah, I've been doing it where you've got to roll the dice separately, but shouldn't I get to see both sets of dice there before I make my mind up? And I sort of felt, yeah, maybe I should. Well, he says yes. He says, I would roll both allied and Axis dice before deciding how to use it. You can modify one roll or the other, so you really need to see the results of both rolls before making a decision. I think that's fair, actually. I think I'm going to go with that. You know, even though I'm doing it slightly different to what maybe most have been doing. So, yeah, probably going to do it that way. Ah, yes, I'm glad I looked. There was a comment also from part 30 from Carlos, 11-minute 30-second mark. And I'm a bit baffled why I didn't go and have a look at this. He says you can use Luftwaffe replacements to increase the air naval control in Germany. So we could have used one of our 2 Luftwaffe replacement points to move that up. It sort of doesn't make much difference when you reduce a movement. I mean, I don't think we added a point there. I want to say we added one there and we added one there, didn't we? Then what I did was, this was at 3 and I reduced that one to bump that up. But what I could have done, well, actually maybe that makes it better for us, because this is in 3, this is in 3, and these are the 2 areas that they could have an extra die roll, if you like. Although what I did think about was, if this gets knocked down to 1 and then they roll aircraft results, they count as hits. So you've got to keep that one in mind as well, Graham. But anyway, so that must obviously be in the rules, that, and I've just glossed over that. Luftwaffe for replacements. Must add 1 to the air naval control value in one of the front boxes or in the Germany box. There you go. So I must have missed that. But good to know now. So, right, thanks for your comments, guys. Let's press on with the game. I'll get the cards up again. Just to look at, I should have kept it as the right bit. Axis offensive segment, that's where we're at. Right, so 1942. Summer operation, the first operations phase, we're in the Axis, oh no, we're in the command step. Have I just forgot to move that on? I think so. Or did I put it back there to like make another change? No, I want to say, I mean, I did just watch back part 30 just earlier the day while I was at work on my break. I want to say he was a vacancy, wasn't he? He got that vacancy came up because it was a misfortune result. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are. Maybe let me glance at the video just in case. It just looks like I've probably not moved that on. Yeah, I just forgot to nudge it on by the looks. And I just glanced back there. So Axis offensive, right. We do have an offensive. Barbarossa, a year late. So Black Axis combat points placed in each area of the military directive card that has a disputed marker on it, or in its alignment box, or is allied controlled and adjacent to an Axis controlled area. Yes, okay. So it's going to be, the areas available are 1 to 11. So let's have a look. Now, remembering back here, well, there, all the areas we can see. We can. This is the disputed. This is adjacent, this is adjacent, this is adjacent. So there are 4 options, but we only have 3 pawns. Now, this is a resource, this is a resource, so I think I want to go for both of these. They're both into planes. This one's into planes as well, which is the one that we can maybe take. I feel like I'm going to go for these 3. The other one's the Black Sea here, which is into river, but then it's, although it's taking this area as such, that's not really benefiting us. I think I'd prefer to be defending in here with that one. I mean, this one's in rough as well. So defending in both of these are better. But then I've got 3 black points. Well, you don't need to use 3, but our objective here is to take 2 areas. So I think we need to do this. So, well, I want to try that one because that's a resource one. I want to try that one because it's a resource one. And then the third one I think should go there. Because... well, actually, hang on. We can't do this in the one. Well, remember, there's 2 operations. There's 2 operations phases. We can take this one, all going well, in the first operations. This one, the best we can do is get to Minsk. And this one, Kiev. And you're as well... Well, I'm saying you're as well doing it, actually. Remember, it takes a reduction. I don't know, I mean... Well, you either take the reduction first in the first offensive, or you go in there and then take the reduction on the second offensive, don't you? So, well, does that not mean you're better not taking the reduction in the first offensive, Grant? So you've got a stronger army for the second offensive. That sounds like that makes sense, I think. Then again, I might not be thinking about it properly. Right, so I think they're the best ones we go for, and then we just leave this. We've got a good defence here as well, anyway. I would have liked to have seen either this having an extra army, full army, is it? What is it? It's not full army. Regular army, and maybe or maybe a regular army in there, rather than have the 2 regular armies in here and we're defending. But well, that's what it is. I was restricted to my movement. I'm watching back on that again. I think I wanted to do, but I only had 3 movement. If I'd had 4 movement, I think I would have probably moved one of these either to here, switched over with that, or switched over with that. Anyway, we didn't have that. So, okay, that's going to be my attack. So we're going to go for it now, aren't we? Let me get the combat cards. Now, is there a better priority here? Well, although they're naval control, they won't get an extra dice. We do have to remember that once that goes to there, any aircraft rolls are going to be counted as hats. But that's... I don't know how we can make anything out of that, really. General-wise, we're attacking into planes, we're attacking into planes, we're attacking into planes. It's all the same, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to go from top to bottom, I think. Probably you should put more thought into this and have a look at all the generals and that might, and maybe the generals that you're going to be involved in your leading combat. My top seniority generals are 6. So I'm going to have access to 6s and 4. I tell you what, that's another reason for not attacking from there. We've still got von Manstein there, and he's a 6. So remember, we wouldn't be able to use 6s. We would just be able to access to 5s for our leading generals there. Which we will have the same situation on defence unless we can get rid of some of the 6s. But I think there's a bunch of them left. And this is the reason that maybe he shouldn't be there. But he is pretty decent, like. So, okay, we'll go top to bottom and just see how it goes, I suppose. So Baltic states, disputed. Right, we've got von Wiechs. Well, we're going to draw a card. Well, it's going to be a combat anyway, because it's us that are doing this. So we are going to draw a card. What I mean is we are going to look at generals. But the card bit comes first, so let's draw one combat card. Right, defence, Soviet faction defence in 1942. Yeah, I'll zoom out a little bit. Look at the card. Year 1942 on the defence. It's a reduction and 3 dice. That's card number 1. I was just thinking, well, okay, that must be sort of middle of the road card. That's card number 1. He said that was the gentlest card, right? In 1942, they're still rolling 3 dice and we're getting an automatic reduction. So that just kind of tells you what you're going to be up against, really, if that's the best card in the deck. Well, I say best card in the deck. I think he said the most lenient, but okay. So right, generals. So we don't have an OB. We do have an AG head that is weeks. Now we're on the attack this time, so I'd like to think these guys might be doing something. I'd like to think that. Again, this is where we've just come out of our command phase, and you know, we maybe should have been looking at, like, for instance, well, he's attacking it rough. I'm just looking there, knowing that we were going at the command phase. He's in the activated pile, but it is attacking into rough. We're attacking into planes and all of them though. But he could have came out the activated and replaced one of these, you know. Anyway, Von Weeks, Maximilian, here he is here. Right, let's see. What's he doing? Attacking into rough. So just the same. So he's not going to help. So that's that. Right, now we've got a grey dice and 3 white dice. We're attacking into planes. Yeah, so tank results are good for us. Tank results for them are very bad for us. That was the other reason that I felt like we shouldn't have 2 grey cubes in here, and we should have maybe one more in there, because you can get a tank from, I think there's only 1 tank on the grey dice. Or is there 2? No, there's 1. But at least there's a chance. On the white dice, there's none. So, you know. Okay, so that's our general's not helping up to now. So now we pick a leading general. It has to be the highest or second highest that we've got, and below what the AG head is. So we've got highest is 6. So 6s and 5s. Well, let me have a look. Right, just taking note of the last guy that I drew. He's not helpful to any of these attacks, but attacking into a river. I had +1 hit to that. It's his combat roll, so we'll need to remember him. Well, he would have been useful if we had went for Romania, Bulgaria, wouldn't they? Down here, Grant. Attacking into Odessa as the river. But, well, this one we could go all the way to, is it Narva, I think. Whereas these ones we could end up Minsk and Kiev and then be attacking at a river on the next one. But anyway, I've got 4 generals here that are of use. I think I've seen them all before. I probably shouldn't be going over these again. This video is going to take forever, Grant. Why don't you just pick one? Well, quickly. He's the one that you don't take the mandatory secondary advance. You can change 1 grey hit for 1 grey tank, which is of use, but I'll tell you what, he'd be better in here. He'd be better in this attack, wouldn't he? Because you're rolling 2 grey dice there. And into planes. Yeah, so we'll keep Hermanhoff for that. We've seen this guy before, cancel 1 hit result. What are they rolling? They're rolling 3 dice, so yeah, it's not, well, 3. I mean, you did still expect a hit. And this guy we might not have seen, Eric Hopner, attacking it in planes. Controlling player may change 1 black. Right, so this or 1 grey result in that's his combat roll for 1 tank. Okay. So again, I don't think he's as good for this one then. But attacking it in planes, yeah, again, it'd be more useful for that. That's why I shouldn't have 2 of these here, but, well. Right, so what one's the best? So he's better for that. The mandatory reduction, I don't know. They're rolling 3 dice, we're rolling 4. So surely we're at a slight advantage there, but 3 of the dice are white, though. Ah. Well, you've drawn the card for this now. You can't do that, Grant. Just looking now and thinking about reductions and realising I don't have any reduced armies. Although I said, well, it's not really an issue because you just take a hit on that. You lose that instead of reducing that. But that reduces it to 3 dice. I mean, admittedly, if you had a reduced army there, that then becomes a white cube. But you still get 4 dice. I don't know if it balances out better or not. Because the grey dice are clearly better than the white dice, and obviously the black dice are better than... But I mean, if we take a mandatory... Oh, well, maybe we should use Guderian here then. Because I mean, if we do take the second advance here, I think I might take a little gamble with us and do that. The fact they're getting 3 dice. I mean, I know there's I'm saying there's oh, hang on, I forgot about the reduction. Well, if nobody can stop that, I'm forgetting about the combat card. We've got to take a reduction first. That's a special effect. And we can't do nothing about that. That's where, am I not right in saying that's where you need von Manstein? Is it? Or am I making things up now? Yeah, you are. I think I said that before. Is there not somebody? Well, it can't be. There can't be, because he's the only one that can affect combat in OB Ost, and Kesselring's the only one that can affect combat elsewhere. In the south. I think, you know what it is? I think I was watching one of the guys videos that were playing had put an OB Ost, maybe, and he was cancelling all these reductions. Maybe I'm making that up as well, mind you. So in actual fact, we're only going to get 3 dice here. Oh, no. That makes it worse. Because the reduction, I can't take... I've nothing to replace it with. Yeah. I'm not going to advance a second. The problem is then the combat's going to be in planes again. That's why I wanted to get to there. At least the combat then... Well, would you be going into here? Probably not. I'd be sitting in the river, I think. I mean, if I've got all white dice, I don't want to be fighting in planes. I mean, remember, they're red dice. Now, they only have 1 tank on it, but our white dice have none. So, I'd sort of like to advance a second here, assuming I'm successful, of course. I'm taking this reduction. Now I've got 3 dice to his 3 dice. Which means... I need a tank. I don't know what it means. I think you're going to be struggling here, Grant. I think he's going to be the better option for us. Yeah, because we're only going to get 3 dice. There's nothing I can do about that. That's why I should not have started with Baltic States. Because if I'd started right now with Poland, this would have got reduced to a regular army. If I'd started with Hungary, this would have got reduced... Oh no, it would have been the same there, eh? It would have been the same situation there as well, then. Unless, of course, any of these generals can cancel a special effect, but that's not ringing a bell. Okay, I'm going to use this guy. He's a 5 seniority, so that's fine. Cancel 1, result in the allied combat roll. Well, I'm going to say let's just hope that they get at least 1 hit, but if they don't get the hits, then we're good. Well, sort of. Okay, so these guys can go back. I'll just need to bring them back out again. Yeah. Okay, so first things first, the special effect is to apply 1 reduction before combat. Okay, and there's no Panzer Army to reduce to regular. Regular would reduce to reduced, but there's no reduced, so we have to take a reduced and eliminate it. Well, and it goes into the... It's now available, so but it reduces our dice by 1, so... Okay, so they're getting 3 dice, and remember, we can cancel 1 hit. We don't want to see any tanks. Sooner see 3 hits rather than any tanks, because at least we can cancel 1 of them. Right, 3 red dice. Are we good? There's no +1s, there's no bonus to air naval control, we've no paratroopers left. As for them, they are defending in planes. Yeah. Okay. No tanks, please. Oh, this is cruel. Yeah, it's going to keep getting worse, I think, Grant. Well, there's what we'll go. Right, so we can... Well, I know we've not rolled yet, but we're going to cancel 1 of the hits. Yeah, we're going to do it no matter what. So, but because it's in planes, they're sitting with 3 hits. We have 1 grey dice and 2 white dice. Our grey dice really needs to be a tank. Damn, we need 2 other hits. No other benefits, have we? We've not got anything, have we? There's nothing more I can do here. No. Okay. 1 grey and 2 white. There we go. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Well, we don't succeed though, do we? This would be in a tank, we had them, but... No, it's not. We've got 3 hits to their 3 hits, haven't we? Yeah. It might just be not... No, I think we still suffer, don't we? Even when we're on the attack and we draw. I think we still suffer. So... Yeah, they've got 3 hits and we've got 3 hits. Yeah, because we're not defending. We wouldn't defend on this counts as 2. There's no events. Acts as an attacker. Axis hits less than or equal to allied hits. No advance and 1 reduction. Flip Whedon. We also flip our Whedon general to questioned. Oh my. Yeah, I was just double checking that in the rules. And yeah, that's correct. So we had 3 hits to 3 hits, which counts as a defeat. So we've got to take a reduction. We do have a reduced army this time, so we can reduce that. Now we've not got a reduced army again. Reduce that to that. And the leading general, not the AG head, so Van Beeks, he can just go back and command. The combat card is going away. I mean, the reductions on top of the 3 dice, it's like, and that's meant to be one of the good cards. That's kind of savage, yeah? So this is a guy that's going to be questioned, so I'm going to put him in here and get his marker. Right, here's Schmidt. He's the other dissident. Was there only 2? I think Carl said there was only 2. We've got this guy in here. So he's the other dissident. So he's questioned. He's got a... I can't remember the... term for that. It's a 2 anyway, so. Right, so he's questioned as well. And that was a failed combat in the Baltic States. Right, so now knowing that if we get some reduction, I'm going to do my Poland attack next, because I've not got any reduced armies. So again, if I'd done it in here, we'd have to take that. So I'm going to take it in here next. I don't even think I want to be making these attacks. But I say that was maybe the best combat card. Okay. Well. Right, so draw a combat card. We're attacking into planes again. Here we go. Soviet faction on the defense, 1942. 4 dice, so no reduction this time, but 4 dice. So okay, maybe they're not all, you can see that they jump about regarding that a little bit. So what have we got? Oh, this is Poland, isn't it? So we can choose either one. We've got von Bock or von Lieb. No OB again. Von Lieb is down the bottom here. Attacking into any against any faction. Well, he's useful. So von Bock is the other one. He's attacking into any as well. Yeah, I've seen both of these. So cancel the air hat. I think he's going to be better. Draw 2 combat cards and choose 1 to the current combat. Oh, okay. Right, that's why you need to be on top of this. So we're looking at 4 dice, or we can use him and draw another card. I don't know. I'm sort of feeling like the 4 dice might be better. Because there's a lot of them with their reductions. I mean, general-wise for the combat, it's only the ones I looked at last time, really, that are the second advance again. I don't think I'm going to do the second advance here. No, because I'm going to be in planes anyway, so that's not any good to me. So it's going to be this guy. Yeah, these are the 2 options. This one was the one we change one of them. Well, if we go with what we've only got black dice, so it'd be better with this guy. Yeah, so he'd be the better option, but nothing that's stopping a reduction. I think I'm using von Bock. I don't think I'm going to draw the 2 combat cards here. That might be a mistake, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to use von Bock as our AG head, because there's 2 of them, they're both same seniority. And then I'm going to use Eric Kopner, attacking into planes, which we are, as our... yeah, I don't see the point in doing the reduction. Like I've said, we're better keeping our army stronger while we're in there, rather than reduced into there. Yeah, I suppose that stretches you further though, doesn't it, Grant? If you keep on doing that, that's the whole thing about it, wasn't it? It was like fast meant to be, blitzkrieg, on you go. Yeah, well. Then we've only got black dice, 1 black dice here as well, but he's only 1 apart from, unless we do Guderian, but I'm just going to go with this guy. Right, so he's going to be if we roll a black hit, it becomes a black tank. That's kind of rubbish, isn't it? I've really not got my armies right here, have I? There's far too many reduced armies. And this is why there's 2 regular armies in Spain, there's 2 regular armies in Egypt. And for that matter, we've got 2 regular armies in here which we're not attacking from. These are mistakes, aren't they? These are mistakes. Yeah, you're nodding your head, I know. Now, okay. Is that? You going with that? I'm going with that, I think. Okay, so no special effects. They're going to roll 4 dice. We can cancel an aircraft hat. And then when we come to roll, we've got something that might be able to help, maybe. Well, it sort of guarantees, it's almost guarantees the tank, doesn't it? Well, in fact, no, it does. Look. It's all this dice has is tanks and hits. So we're going to guarantee 2 hits by playing that general. I mean, if it comes up as a tank when we roll it, then it's a waste, but, well, if it comes up as a hit when we roll it, it wouldn't have been a waste. Well, it depends what they get. They've got 4 dice, and we can cancel an air result. Right, here we go. Not missing anything, are we? Don't think so. No special effects. No bonuses or anything like that. No defending in planes. Here we go. We don't want to see tanks. No aircraft. 3 hits an event this time. Well, okay. Well, we can beat that. Can ya? Right, so 3 hits in an event. We roll in 1 black dice and 4 white. And we can change a black hit to a black tank. So 1 black dice, 4 white. So we need two hits off the white dice, because we know the black's going to be 2 hits. Right, here we go. Yes, just. Well, there you go, that worked, using Hopner. Right, let me just bring the dice across first. And we'll have a look. Right, so that's what we've got. So the blank goes away, we can't do anything with that. The black hat becomes a black tank, so we change that. And then they've got 1, 2, 3 hits, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Yes, we're on. However, well, remember these combat events we drew the last time? I did hits for them. Yeah, but you would still do this. I don't, I suppose, should I wait until the event's drawn? It doesn't matter, I'm going to change that anyway, haven't I? Right, we've got 2 events to take care of. So, well, let's see. Combat event for the first one. Okay, here we go. Nothing up top. Oh, new tanks. Look, zoom in, look. Cancel the effect of the combat event card, new tanks. What does it do? What would it have done? If the Tiger and Panther project has been completed, we discard this card. If the USSR is not at war, we go to the next year. Wehrmacht replacement value -1, then it goes into the next year. No, I don't think so. We're deleting this card. It's gone forever. Excellent. Well, that was good timing. Yeah, Wehrmacht replacement's -1, and then you're going to get that in the next 3 years as well. So let's discard the card. That's it. It's away. Good. Right, that was the first event. So we've still got another one though. Combat event. As long as they don't get a hit. Oh well, we won. I think that means we're okay with this card. I think it's when you lose. So Hitler takes over command of army group. If the USSR is not at war, goes to the next year, well it is. If there is only 1 German army in combat, if there is only 1 German army in the combat, there was not, or the combat results a victory, yes it is, then it goes down the bottom of the deck. Ooh, so to come back. But if that wasn't the case, what happens is you dismiss the activated head of army group in the area. The activated head of army group, so that would have been the guy we chose. That would have been von Bock. I'm taking it there because there's 2 of them. After resolving the battle, the owning player draws 1 Black Orchestra card and then unrest +1. Yeah, so that's nasty. So the combat result is a victory though, so this is going down the bottom of the deck. But yeah, so we know that might come again though. There's a few combat cards, so yeah, because the combat is a victory. That was that event. They've got 3 hits, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we succeed here. Right. We succeed in Poland. So he gets knocked back to Minsk, and we get a new control disc that goes in Białystok. I've not heard that one before. I don't think. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong and it's something I have heard before. I was going to take that away just now. So we've got to advance at least 1 army in, right? We've got to leave 1 army behind, so we're taking the other 4. Right, things are going to happen if you don't leave 2 behind. You're going to lose. Oh, that's bad. Well, yeah, it is bad. Because it then means... It means one of these generals are going to go back on top, and then my 3rd combat, I'm going to have to be looking at a 9 or the 6s. I'm not going to get to the 5s. And the 6s are all no good. You know what? I don't think I'm taking... Do I have to take... I didn't want to take Von Bock with me. I want to take the other guy. Am I allowed to do that? He wasn't involved in the combat as such, was he? I don't know then. I'm just wondering if right now I might be wanting to do this. I need to know about if I can take either general. This is going to become disputed. We knocked him back. We're not going to advance a second thing, because it means that Pan's army gets reduced. I think you have to advance, Grant, because the objective here is to take 2 areas, and this was a poor start. Although you could technically do it on the second offensive, but your army's been reduced to like 3 reduced armies, so not so sure. You might not be able to do that. So these are the 2 targets that we want to try and take on the 2 offensives. I sort of feel like I've got to do that. Right, hang on till I find out about if it can be either AG Head that goes. Give me a second. No, it says the activated head of army group. I mean, he's the one we activated, isn't he? Let me see. We must have to activate him over the other guy. Is that right? Activate the head of army group with the highest seniority factor in the combat area. If the area is controlled by... Right, no. No. Where's the one that tells you about if there's 2... No, it tells you there. Within the chosen area, activate the head of army group with the highest seniority factor in the combat area. Head of operation resolves ties. Yeah, so he's... Von Bock is the activated head of the army group here, and for advance it says, if at least 2 armies advance to the combat area, move the activated head of army group to the combat area. Oh dear. Right, okay, well that was another reason to have chose Von Lieb, wasn't it? Right, well I don't have a choice there. It's got to be Von Bock. He moves across. Just move him up to the top. That makes it feel better. Now, do we... Well... Oh, hold on here a minute. We get another command phase. No, he's not. He needs to be higher to move in there, doesn't he? We do get another command phase though. But like I say, for our third combat here, if I put this guy back, I'm then only going to be able to access the sixes, and I don't think any of them are any good. He would be of use, but I don't want to advance the second sector. Rommel's not usable. That's defense. That's attacking in the rough. Oh, he's a 5. Yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy I really want to use for this because he's got 2 grey dice. That's horrible. That's not fair. That's not nice. That is not nice. Carlos. Well, hang on. You've said there's a... No, but I know there's another command before the second offensive, but this has still got to get resolved. Oh, wait a minute. Here. I've just realised that this connects to Ukraine as well. Does that matter though, Grant? That's not going to matter. In fact, you're not going to get a leading general at all if you put him back and use this one, because you can't use the 6s either. Von Kukler. Von Kukler is only on the defense. Von Manstein is attacking. Yeah, he's good. So control power may change the result of one die. Did I have to decide where I was attacking from? Because problem is there though. Yeah, the problem is there that if you attack into there, you've got to advance into there with stuff from here. Yeah, that's... And the Black Sea's going to attack back into there, and you're going to have nothing left. Of course, the other issue is that there's going to be a Soviet offensive before we have a second offensive. Oh, you do have movement though. So, okay. Yeah, you do have movement, Grant. Oh, I've made a mistake. Damn it. I should have only been rolling 4 dice, shouldn't I? What were the 3 white dice? One was a hit, one was a blank, one was a... I'll go have to rewind that. Damn it. We rolled a black and 3 white. But the stacking limit for this area is only a 4. Yeah, I need to fix this. They rolled 4 dice, 3 hits, didn't they? 3 hits in an event. We rolled an event. A black. I want to say we rolled a black hit and changed it, didn't we? I think as I've drawn the event as well now. A hit, a black. I did get a blank, and it was a gun, wasn't it? I think this is what I drew. Well, hang on. They rolled 3 hits in an event. I rolled an event. I hit a gun, that, and a blank. One of these I shouldn't have rolled. It's easy to say, well, let's just say it was that one, or that one. Well, but that makes that awkward too. So hang on, the first event I resolved was that, and that was the new tanks, wasn't it? What was the second one? Did I draw a second one? Okay. Did I? It went down the bottom. It went down the bottom. It was that, wasn't it? So I have to put that back up the top. Because I mean, I did take this event first. That was the new tanks. I'm gonna have to put this back up the top, which is not great. I'm kind of hoping we get a lucky roll here. Right, and I'm gonna have to re-roll. Well, to be honest, it doesn't matter about the black dice because it was guaranteed to become a tank. So there's no point me re-rolling everything. So I'm gonna have to re-roll these. Well, these 4. I'm gonna have to re-roll 3 of these 4 because it should have only been 3 that I rolled. It should have been a black and 3, shouldn't it? Ideally, that's the result I want right there, or a combination of like 2 hits in an event, and then we're golden. But right, what's this? This is, I'm looking at generals for other battles. We're not finished here yet. I know I've moved things. I need to roll these dice. I do. I need to roll this. Well, this has been dealt with. This stays. I'm gonna have to roll these 3 white dice. We want an event and 2 hits. Please, be nice to me. No. It's really going to spoil everything tonight now because I don't know what to do. That's going to be a draw as well. Well, we change this to attack. No, it's still 4 hits, Grant. You're just not getting the event. Okay. That's not as bad as I thought then. I was forgetting, we still got the 2 hits. Just we didn't get the event. Well, you know what? I've put that combat event back up the top. Nothing else happened, was it? It just went down the bottom if we had a victory. Yeah. I mean, although I know it's there, yeah, it's the best thing I could do to fix it. And I think it should be left there because it's quite a nasty card, really. Right, so that goes away. That gets changed to a tank. We still resolve the win. The second combat event wasn't drawn, though, because I made a blunder there. Right, okay. That's the best we can do. The combat's done. The Von Bock is the one that has to come across. The final part of this decision was, do we take the 4th Army across and then Von Lieb goes back? That was my problem, and I think I have to. Yeah, and then I'm looking at the generals that can help here, and there's not going to be anybody. Or if I leave Von Lieb in the 2 armies, I do get access to that leading general. Which, now knowing that we need to win this combat or Hitler's not going to be happy. What was it? down. Oh yeah, the AG head gets fired or something, doesn't he? So I'm not going to be able to use my 6s. We've done this already, Grant. None of them can help you. Apart from the one that the mandatory reduction, but you're not going to use. Anyway. On saying that, if you put him in and you got the result, wouldn't you advance? I'm not so sure I would. Yeah, it'd be silly not to though. Let me think a minute. See, there's other knock-on effects here as well, because if Von Lieb goes back, then when we come to defend in here, we're not going to be able. Yeah. No, we're not going to be able to get the 5s, Grant. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to get the 6s. So he can be used in defence, so that is alright actually. He's only 1. I mean, he's pretty good. He'll got the chance of cancelling a reduction. But I mean, it means again that you don't get the 5s. Defending in planes. Subtract 1 hit from the ally. You know, see this. I'm not going to be able to use. He's a 4, Grant. What's happened to the 5s? I think I'm using them all. There's only 2 5s left. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I'm just looking at Von Bock. A special prima donna. We've seen it before and we've talked about it and we used it quite happily at one point, and then there was another point where I forgot about it but I couldn't advance. After a victory in a combat with Axis as the attacker, a second advance must be conducted if the terrain allows it. Now, see, if I'd known that... Nah, you're saying that, Grant. If I'd known that, I probably would have brought Guderian along. Yeah, you're saying that, but you can't go back and fix all that. No, that's even worse. That's even worse. It's just getting worse. So we had a victory in combat. We have to have a second advance. There's no choice. And I've got to take a reduction. So that goes to Smolensk. We're in there. We've lost a Panzer army. This is just getting worse. I'm still not sure if I'm bringing this other army across yet. I mean, it doesn't matter. This has to happen. You're caught between a rock and a hard place, as they say. I'll be damned if I do. And because if I take the army, I'm getting an extra army, and then I'm not getting access to a better general. I'm just leaving that like that. I'm not having it. Problem is, again, when I attack with Von Bock again, oh no, we're going to have to go into Moscow. I don't know, maybe this is what we should be doing, but yeah, not with white armies. We should have the grey armies and the black ones. Actually, I think that changes things though for me, because the 5s that I've got, like I say, I've only got 2 5s left. He's going to be... Wait, hang on. Well, yeah, he's going to be of use in the next combat, but we get a command phase in between that, because they're attacking into the river. So we might be able to do something about if we put Von Lieb back. And the only other general that I had was this, defending in planes, but that's changing the result of a grey. Well, that's what you had. Where are you? I suppose I'm thinking about this combat here. This is attacking into planes and is going to be able to benefit. Well, Grant, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to be able to use Hermann Hoth. Nah. Okay, I'm putting this army in. Yeah, I have to. I think I have to. So this goes away. Von Weeb. So Von Weeb now becomes an available general and really screws things up. Okay, right, I'm at an hour and 11 minutes here, but we've got one combat still to do, so I should probably carry on, shouldn't I? So this is all still okay. Partisan, we had to leave that there anyway, but then this is only got enough for 4. We've got a little information we shouldn't have, knowing what the top combat card is. Yeah, that was the other reason for, like, I really need to win the combat. I might not draw a combat card though, you know, there's that. Well, how else could I have fixed it? Okay, let's go for the... well, hang on. Right, that combat card's done, so that goes away. Von Bock is good. Von Weeb, yeah, he's away. Von Bock is in command. This guy done his thing, so he's been activated. And yeah, we're into the next combat, into here. Yeah, from here. So we draw a combat card. Soviet faction 1942 defending. That's card 17. So reduction in 4 dice. Okay. Right, reduction in 4 dice. We've got Von Kukler. Which I don't think was helping, was he? Who's he? Last one. Defending and rough, so he's not any good. And yeah, we're not going to get a leading general here either. Because it's got to be between a 9 and a 6. And we can't pick the 9 because that would be above the 7. So we've only got a choice of the 6s. Well, you've got to pick somebody, Grant, so it's not that you can't not pick anybody. So, well, do we take Guderian then? Guderian's the only one that can do something. That's defending, attacking it in a rough, and that's not any good. Guderian's the only one that can do something. Oh, what the heck. Okay, I'm going to use Guderian then. So, do not apply a mandatory reduction of the head army. That's silly. I don't want to advance. Well, now though, hang on, Grant. The whole point of you not wanting to advance was so you didn't have to take the reduction. So, yeah, let's just play him. Right, he's a leading general. Okay. Because Von Weeb was getting in the way. Okay, so our AG head doesn't do anything. Right, okay. So, yeah, we can't stop the reduction, so we've got to take a reduction. And we've no reduced armies. I knew I was going to start not liking how things were going to go. So we have to take that as a reduction. Which reduces our dice down to 3 now. Hitler's coming to get us, isn't he? Well, Hitler's coming to get, is it Von Kukler? Look at this as well. Cancel the special effect in the combat card if we're defending in rough. You know what that is? Jesus. No. And I'm going to probably lose this guy now. I was looking forward to a wee session gameplay tonight. Right. Okay, so we took a reduction, and was it 4 dice they're getting? That's grand. We can't do anything to the 4 dice. So 4 red dice. Here we go. And it's into planes, isn't it? Yeah. So the tank and 2 hits, 1 air hit. The air hit will just reduce our air, fortunately, but yeah. Right, and then we're going to get 2 grey dice and a white dice. There's nothing I can do here. I'm starting to look a bit foolish, I think. 2 grey dice and a white dice. I feel like we should just be trying to defend and not try and take these territories, but I don't think that's what you meant. Well, maybe this is why, because you should have been doing this in 1941, and the results, if you look at that card, I'll just show you what were there. Look at the defence in 1941, they were getting 3 dice, no reductions, you know, that's what it's telling you, Grant, that's what it's telling you. You should have done this last year. Okay, 2 grey dice and a white dice, attacking into planes. The greys need to be tanked. Both of them. We've got one of them. I've got a blank of the white. All we needed was something off the white dice. And we had them. Yeah. Rubbish. Right, so the white dice does nothing. We're losing this. Well, it's a tie, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. No, they've got 4 hits, Grant. Yeah, I miscounted there. Right then. So right, so the air hit's going to hit the air naval control in that front, knocks that down to 1, and then that takes that away. And then the combat's in planes, so they've got 2, 3, 4 hits. I've got 2, 3 hits. So no combat events. Axis hits less than or equal to no advance and 1 reduction. Right, so it's not any different. It doesn't matter how many hits. It's the same result. Oh well, we never got any events, so Hitler's not going to intervene at the moment. Axis hits less than or equal to Allied hits. No advance and 1 reduction, flip leading, generally questioned. Where are we here? Right, we can take the reduction. So Grey Army gets replaced by a White Army in Hungary. No advance. The Von Kukler was our AG, he's fine. However, Guderian was a leading general, he's now questioned as well. So I'll put him over there and get his counter. Right, Guderian, he's got a 3, I can't remember the reference. Anyway, he's questioned as well, so he's flipped over. 3. What is it? Oh, I can't remember what it was. Right, that's that combat done as well. Yeah, nasty. Combat cards away. That's us done. And now we've just got to defend against all this now again. I mean, we can still technically achieve Barbarossa, can't we? By taking here and here. So I suppose we've got to give that a go. Well, you need to see what the defence is first. Yeah, okay. I'm at an hour and 20 minutes, so I better Axis offensive is done. Western offensive. Oh yeah, that's a couple of comments I've missed from somewhere. I'll talk about them in the next part. I'll try and find it and come back, talk about it in the next part. It was just something else Carlos had mentioned as well. Okay, I'll be back soon. Cheers.